Cyber Bullies and the Heezy for the Extreme Retro Review for ECW, July 15th, 1995. This is HEATWAVE, The Rage in the Cage. It's Extreme Retro Review number 138. I want to harken back to HEATWAVE 1994, Extreme Retro Review number 75.
Oh yeah, a nice magical number there.
You know what I'm saying? And we was on this Odyssey that I like to call it.
I knew Odyssey was going to be in there.
And it's just the growth and development of ECW given a year since they've been. Heatwave 94 was billed as the battle for the future. And it was between Shane Douglas and Sabu for the ECW heavyweight title.
Right.
It was still a part of the niggas with attitudes.
Oh, man. Good times when niggas with attitudes were involved.
But here we are, ECW, Heatwave, 1995. Shane Douglas and Sabu are not with the promotion.
Huh. Yeah, interesting after a year and shit.
So it just shows you, and we got Sandman as the champ. So just appreciate the growth within a year's time.
And interesting enough, Sandman was there from the very beginning of ECW.
But along with Terry Funk, all three of those, cornerstones of that main event are, not in the promotion right now,
Well, we're glad Terry Funk's not there.
So we start with Bill Alfonso. He's livid. And he reiterates that he's going to shut this promotion down. He banned the fans from coming into the ECW arena, but they came anyways.
You told them niggas not to show up. What the fuck is they doing there?
Fans start throwing trash into the ring as Todd Gordon comes in. They have an inaudible back and forth, but the gist of it is that Todd is tired of Bill Alfonso's shit, so let's fucking fight. Bill Alfonso tells him to get out of the ring or he will ban Todd from promoting events. He counts to 5, he gets to 7, and Todd rushes his ass and the fight is on. The crowd is hype as fuck as they roll around the ring and shit. Geeks hold Todd back while the Broad Street Bully and Devious Allen pull Bill Alfonso away. He then bops Todd Gordon on the head and says Todd Gordon made the biggest mistake in his life. There's 911 chance HW thoughts of the opening segment.
From the very beginning, Bill Alfonso had nuclear heat from the crowd, and I do not understand why. Because Bill Alfonso is just there to make sure law and order is represented there in the ECW, and these fans were having none of that. Unfortunately, Todd Gordon took it upon himself to assault Bill Alfonso, and so when Bill did what he had to do, I'm glad that he stood up for himself and defended himself. And I thought it was unfortunate to see Bill have to lay the law down like that, but I'm glad he did. And it was a very enjoyable segment for me. And as the person of me that appreciates law and order, well done, Bill Alfonso.
So we have a match with Mikey versus Stormin' Norman, returning to the ECW arena.
Now I feel bad because the whole time I'm like, who the fuck is Stormin' Norman?
He was a guy who wrestled in late 1993 ECW.
Oh, okay. Well,
shout out 1993 Fuge. You get better.
You don't get better. Oh, yeah, I don't remember Stormin' Norman. Now I feel bad.
Norm starts off hot. Mikey with the comeback shine. He's settling into his classic look. The crowd chants that you still suck dick to Stormin' Norman. He waves it off. There's a botch Hurricane Rana spot, so they have to regroup. The crowd is hot. throughout the entire match. Mikey fighting from underneath is the right way to use Mikey Whipwreck, but Norm is a jobber and he's getting a bunch of offense. Frank and Mikey for the win. Dud, HW thoughts.
The crowd made this match 10 times better. That's it. It was a great feel-good match, and basically to piggyback off what you just said not too long ago, it was a great usage of Mikey, and so it was a dud match that with the crowd was. No, I can't even call it a dud. It was a match that felt good as a Mikey fan and shit, and the crowd made it damn near an awesome match.
ECW Tag Team Titles matchup featuring Raven and Stevie as the champs, with Beulah McGillicuddy in their corner, defending against the Broad Street Bully and my boy, Devious Donnie Allen.
Now, before you start your review, I just want to say, if the crowd made the last match 10 times better at the end, just the very simple fact that Raven and Stevie were defending their titles against Tony, the Broad Street Bully, Hitman Stetson, and Donnie Allen, that immediately made the match twice as bad as whatever it's going to end up being.
The beat up guys still eating out here, to quote my partner in crime.
That they are.
The Bully starts off hot, quick tag to Devious, but Stevie stops that shit. Raven DDT's Devious, he DDT's Bully, while Stevie makes out with his rat at ringside. Raven pulls him off. Beulah climbs over to start a cat fight in the audience. Mullinope counts the champs out.
What an idiot.
Dud. Post-match, the champs beat up the beat-up guys with Stevie kicks. The Pitbulls run in. The Dudleys make it 4-on-2 advantage heels. Pitbulls hold their own. Dreamer comes in, and they brawl around the ring and up the aisle. Hitman grabs the microphone.
Like somebody wanted to hear what he had to say.
And the fashion plate of ECW demands that since him and Devious got a count-out win against the champs, they demand a shot for the straps again.
Like his opinion matters all of a sudden.
Raven comes out of nowhere and blasts this motherfucker to the floor.
Like, oh, no, you didn't.
They beat up the beat up guys again. It breaks down even more with Raven and Dreamer, number one and Stevie. The Rat comes in to claw at number one's eyes. Beulah and the Rat have another cat fight while Dreamer breaks two of Raven's fingers in symmetry. Big Dick comes in. Tommy Dreamer takes a shot at Big Dick. Big Dick absorbs all that kinetic energy like Sebastian Shaw and levels the fuck out of Tommy Dreamer.
One hit a quitter.
Finnegoof pulls Beulah away. Classic ECW chaos. I bumped it up to a 3.5. HW thoughts.
So I'm glad I was able to get my little earlier part in, because upon first viewing I immediately demoted it a half, or minus times 2 and shit, just on the fact of who their opponents were and shit. But after all this shit unfolded, it managed to be upgraded to D for dope and shit, because now, spoiler alert, get used to these motherfuckers for the rest of the show, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say right now and shit. But for this, the first initial segment and shit, I was on a ride, had the motherfucking hoes involved and shit. Fucking Raven and Stevie, they doing their thing and shit. Tommy getting a little payback. even though I know Tommy is ultimately a goof, like how he's being used right now and shit's pretty cool. So I was kind of excited to see him out there. So it was a very enjoyable segment after I got over my initial disappointment of Donnie Allen and Tony the Hitman Broad Street Bully Stetson being involved in the match.
How dare you defile the names of Devious Donnie Allen and the fashion plate of ECW, the Broad Street Bully, Tony the Hitman Stetson.
They defiled their own names.
We have Big Val Fazio versus Shy Part 2. They chant, "Where's your dick?" The fans are completely all over Puccio. There's a long stall. They do the shit chant punches for Puccio. Is this the same match?
Yes.
It is the fucking same match. How dare you, Paul? Negative infinity! We have a 6-man tag. Pit Bulls and Tommy Dreamer with Luna Vachon versus Raven and the Dudley Brothers. Raven's head is bandaged now. This is a complete clusterfuck of a match. Yeah. Luna's in the ring for a wild brawl, but troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso comes out to stop this shit. It's clipped to a traditional 6-man, super bomb on Stevie, and the Rat comes in to perform CPR. There's another cat fight with Beulah.
Oh, yes.
Snot Dudley gets a super bomb for the win. Negative infinity. HW, your thoughts?
The best thing about this match is what it progresses the storyline a little bit and shit. I'm a sucker and a mark for cat fights, especially when ass cheeks is coming out in thongs and shit. So I was like, they keep showing that all night. Like I'm gonna love the show automatically.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I enjoyed the segment yet again.
We have a dream partner tag team matchup. The Shooter and Too Cold Scorpio versus Eddy Guerrero and the all-new Taz. It's clipped immediately, so I do not fall asleep. HW, your thoughts? Would you like to fill in?
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say a couple things. So immediately I roll cause you can't oversell something talking about a dream match and then it be motherfuckers you either done already been hip to or somebody that's gonna be overwhelming and shit. Like if it ain't Lex Luger or fucking who's Brutus Beefcake or somebody, or I don't know if he's big enough. I don't know, somebody who's not quite A level like Hogan and Flair, but somewhere on the B level coming into ECW. It's not a motherfucking dream match if you're putting Dean Malenko and Too Cold Scorpio together.
DDP.
Yeah, there you go. DDP would be the perfect, you know what I'm saying, not quite upper echelon, but
Christian.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Edge.
Taz selling is awful. The heels have control for the most of this match. It's a pretty safe match in my opinion. They're not doing too much extreme shit. It's very pedestrian. It's just highlights of high impact moves and kickouts. 911 music comes on, but it was a ruse. Paulie phones Too Cold Scorpio. Tazplex for the contested 3 count. Too Cold Scorpio's foot is on the ropes, which brings out troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso, who restarts the match.
Oh, man.
Double pinned by the heels for the win. Negative infinity. Your thoughts?
First, how can you give that a negative infinity? Well, because it was clipped as shit, that's why you give it a negative infinity.
It was clipped. The finish was a clusterfuck. I mean, within the storyline, Bill Alfonso is literally being a heel.
Bill Alfonso is doing his job. Too Cold Scorpio's foot was on the rope. So what would you rather Too Cold Scorpio get robbed of and have to take a L, even though rightfully so his foot broke up the pinfall?
But when you see Bill Alfonso's exaggerated sell on the rope, he said the guy was had his foot on the ropes.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
When did the match officially restart? Did it only restart after Too Cold Scorpio hit Taz in the back with the chair?
Yes. And then Tuco Scorpio and the other nigga got the pinfall.
That's easily heelish shit. I mean, like I said, clip plus a clusterfuck of a finish, you get the rating that it gets. Moving on.
Well, before we move on, I just want to say, I do agree with the clip to shit assessment, but it had the potential from the clips that were shown. It could have easily been match of the night, but we'll never know.
Paul and Bill Alfonso have a back and forth, which brings out Rob Feinstein. All this shit is inaudible. Rob and Bill jump Paul. Rob's kicks are hilariously awful. 911 comes out for sure this time, and he chokeslams RF Video. Moving on.
Disrespectful.
Moving on.
Rob Feinstein is a videographer. He is not a wrestler.
We have a world title match. ECW World Heavyweight Champion, the Sandman, along with Woman, versus Axel Rotten. We're out of the American Dad pants phase of Sandman, and we're into the do-rag phase.
Do-rag Sandman.
This is do-rag Sandman. Shout out to Johnny Hotbody and the fashion plate of ECW. The Broad Street Bully. Tony the Hitman Stetson.
Oh, man.
Hack starts with the cane shots early. So Axel powders and gets his barbed wire baseball bat. But it backfires ultimately because Hack takes the baseball bat, wraps himself in the barbed wire, and beats the shit out of Axel Rotten for about 10 minutes. Top rope, rocker dropper for the finish. I gave it a dud. Your thoughts?
Oh, man. I gave this match a B for blah. But I guess it gave Sandman something to do in the absence of Shane Douglas and Cactus Jack. I meant to ask you, is Cactus still in the promotion at this point, or they just
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's still doing his Japan dates. You know what I'm saying? Had you read Have a Nice Day, you would understand where Cactus Jack was at this time.
Okay.
But I can't allow you to have my book because you don't return them.
Oh, damn it. So, I was pissed off that Sandman had to face Axel Rotten to begin with, but even though this match was blah, I think this was probably the best you could expect from putting Sandman and Axel Rotten in a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship together.
I gave it a little bit of leeway because of Axel's promos leading up to it. It was hard because he hasn't really been featured on TV in the past 6 months, so he really had nothing to work with. So he had to cut like 3 of the greatest promos in his early career to get some type of heat. You know, bring in the barbed wire baseball bat, you know what I'm saying, do the callbacks from the Ian shit. You know, Sandman has his callbacks from his Cactus Jack shit in the barbed wire match, recounted by us. Extreme Retro Review number 131 in Barbed Wires, Hoodies, and Chokeslams.
You're welcome.
So I gave it a lot of leeway. I mean, obviously Axel's going to be a jobber to the stars. There's no Axel Rotten world champ in his future. But this was his shot, and he made the most of it. But, you know, them's be the breaks. Moving on. Now we have Rage in the Cage, Part 1. Stevie Richards versus Luna Vachon. Stevie's hesitating to get into the cage. Luna struts in like a mannish dude. With tits.
Fake tits.
They do a comical brawl because I can't take any of this serious.
No.
Because she is a little bitty woman and Stevie is 6'4", 225 pounds.
In Daisy Dukes in a half shirt. Oh, shit.
Even with the hot crowd, I had no care for this match. Stevie gigs, Luna with some wrestling moves to include a neck breaker, and a wipeout. Shout out to the god of jobbers.
Oh, shit.
Stevie with some heat spots, they go nowhere. Luna gigs, and I still do not care. Powerbomb on women are funny, but Luna kicking out on two is ridiculous.
Yeah.
She gets the boot up on Stevie's top rope cage dive. Testicular claw for the win. Negative infinity. Your thoughts?
Man, this match was goofy as shit. It was, like you basically said, it's from its very inception. Like, it's hard to take any of this seriously, especially with Stevie. I didn't even think of him being the 6'4" part, but like he's dressed like a faggot and shit. But he's making out with a bitch at ringside and shit every week and shit. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, and then he's a great heel flunky and shit. So like it's just, but part of that shtick is him being goofy. So like all of it is just goofy. So like I was waiting to see when I would laugh, and I was waiting for the finish. So I just have to give it a G for goofy and shit. Cause
Post-match, Dudley and the Pitbulls fight outside as Raven slides into the cage. Dreamer also comes in to save a hoe. He KOs Stevie and slams Raven's hand in the cage door. He cuffs Raven to the cage. He balls him with his foot and a piece of aluminum siding. A chair gets thrown into the cage. Dreamer grabs it, yells ECW, and delivers the chair shot heard round the world. The crowd chants ECW. He goes into the crowd to celebrate more. But it falls flat because it should have ended the show. HW, your thoughts of the post-match?
It felt iconic. I think Tommy jizzed on himself a little too hard after the shot and shit. But all the
I mean, he did do the Warrior Test of Strength shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like that was a little too much and shit. Even though like I'm kind of getting into the Raven and him and all his flunkies and shit. Like, you know, I kind of lean towards stables and shit. So like when the bad guy of the stable gets his comeuppance like Raven did, I kind of don't like it, but it was kind of cool. There's a part of me who appreciates the face. The face is, and I get Tommy Dreamer's kind of like the uber baby face, the ECW. I just think he's the wrong guy for that part. But recognizing it on a character level, it was cool to see, like, you know, like he has to get a comeuppance at some point. So
stay tuned.
The way he had Raven, as Joey said, crucified. I guess anything is a crucifixion when you have your arms stretched out to the side and shit. So shout out to Jesus for making that famous and possible and shit.
Shout out to Tammuz. You still deceiving niggas. White people being offbeat will always be forever LOL. As the atmosphere is amazing and the Public Enemy head towards the cage.
That's a hell of a segue from Jesus and Tammuz to white people being offbeat.
Public Enemy versus the Gangstaz, Part 2. cage match with plunder. HW, your thoughts of the match?
Oh, so I was happy with the outcome. I think it was, I don't want to spoil the review and shit. I thought it was, I thought it was right for a return match for it to go the way that it did and shit. As far as for the, I mean, it was a lot of freaking violence that happened before this match, so it was kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say it kind of felt redundant and blase blah, because it was a cage match and shit. But I don't know. The match itself, it kind of fell flat in execution, even though I felt like the right team won.
New Jack cuts a promo to warm the crowd back up after the chair shot heard around the world. After the last match, they had to bring him back. The energy just wasn't there during their match, even though the violence was there, but it didn't resonate with the crowd after Tommy Dreamer having such a seminal moment in his career. It's definitely better than their hardcore heaven affair. It's the usual chairs, cookie sheets, and other types of plunder. Double juice. Rocco kept trying to leave the cage, which was bad booking to me, being the babyface. Sloppiness throughout gets multiple "you fucked up" chants from the ECW audience.
In case you didn't know, you fucked up.
2 tables get put into the ring and set up. New Jack gets put on top of them, and Rocco, with a moonsault from the top of the cage through 2 tables and New Jack. But Mustafa sprays Johnny Grunge in the eyes with some hairspray or mace, rolls him up for the win. I gave it 1.5. HW, your thoughts afterwards?
Oh man, I don't know. That shit was funny as fuck. When it's after all that and shit, you lose to get sprayed in the face and shit. I couldn't help but laugh, but I was glad that the Gangstaz won.
It was classic heel shit. I didn't like. I'm not a fan of heels like winning clean, especially early on. Heels need to win dirty to make the feud mean something, to have an emotional involvement. Mustafa helps New Jack out of the cage and they powder. The Public Enemy are left in the ring helpless while Damage Control comes in for the save.
Little bitches.
Overall, if you swap the last 2 matches, this is an all-time classic show in my opinion, but it's still very fucking good. Shout out to my boy Shem.
What's up, Shem?
For historical purposes, always, you should watch all Supercards. It's 2018. You can get them via the internet. But I can't say that the work rate was there during this card. It was all storyline.
Oh yeah, carried by Tommy Dreamer and the Raven Nevermore feud.
And they progressed very well.
Absolutely.
Next up, the post HEATWAVE show that Hot Stuff Hollywood has already watched.
Come on, somebody. Ahead of the curve on y'all bitch asses.
The Extreme Retro Review takes you to the July 18th, 1995 edition. Until then, life is a work. Make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.